talk about her skill set first in order to determine whether we should pull for her once she's out. Okay, so this is her third skill. Now what it does is it attacks all enemies, dispelling 2 buff and also grant increased attack to the entire party for 3 turns. So this skill seems OP to me because it could be useful for both PvP and PvE. And when I say PvE, I mean content such as Hell, Red Queen, or certain bosses with unique mechanism. You gotta strip the boss buff in order to prevent the boss from hitting like a truck, or having an annoying shield which would take you forever to take it down. As for PvP, there's no doubt that this is a good skill to have to counter the arena team that mainly relying on buff, or team that initially have immunity buff. Since he has high base speed, she could start the fight with dispelling the opponent buff as well as buffing your entire teams. For her second skill, Punishment, what it does is attacking all enemies with 35% chance to inflict bleeding effect for 2 turns, and then a 65% chance to stun for 1 turn. Now, this skill is also amazing because she could start the fight by stunning the opponent team as well as inflicting bleed effects on them. Definitely a good skill for PvP, not quite really useful for PvE since she could hardly stun a raid boss. And then lastly, her first skill, Last. She attacks an opponent with 65% chance to inflict a random debuff on her opponent for 1 turn. Those random debuffs can be either silence, decreased defense, decreased attack, or unhealable. I'm really surprised that Mui has a good skill like this one. I would not underestimate this skill for both PvE and PvP. It's really useful to have debuff on raid bosses naturally. As for PvP, especially when you get to the one-on-one situations, this skill is going to annoy the hell out of your opponent. Solid skill, I say. Okay, so this is her artifacts. Circus Fantasia, exclusively for warriors. It increases the caster effectiveness by 25% at the start of the battle. Effect decreased by 2.5% every time the caster attack, down to 12.5%. And as you can see, when you reach to the max level, it's gonna be 50% effectiveness increase at the start of the battle. I understand the point of this artifact is to enhance the probability for her second skill, which would stun the opponent team, or her first skill which put debuff on her target. But I'm sure there are other artifacts that could replace this one in order to improve her survival or to improve her damage. Okay, so this is her stats. She's an Earth element unit, which is pretty good since nowadays there are a lot of ice element units in arena. Her imprint really is going to increase critical chance for her allies by 14.4% at SSS rank. Her imprint concentration is going to increase her dual attack chance by 6% at SSS rank, which I'm sure going to be useful since her first skill is going to annoy the hell out of her target with a random deadly debuff. And perhaps you should equip her with dual attack set to maximize her probability triggering dual attack. So the question is, should we pull for Mui? In my opinion, she's worth it. She's worth it, guys. Worth the PD summon. Because looking at her skill set and her stats, I'm seeing that she has 2 AoE skills and that they can be used for both PvE and PvP. Her first skill is really deadly as well. In PvP, you could use her to either counter teams that rely heavily on buff, or you could use her second AoE skill to stun the entire opponent team. One more good thing about her is that she has high speed base, and she's a warrior, which allows her to equip many OP artifacts. She's worth it, guys. Get her at your own risk. Well, thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, show some love. Thank you and see you again.